I can definitely say that I never pictured myself in this position. I was the fifth grader, reading a shaking form, trying out for student council, and said never again. So I definitely did not imagine I'd be in this place. But when you are someone who is active in your community and you have a stake in what is going on in the district, I really felt as though I wanted to have a seat at the table and be able to help move our district forward, hopefully. Well, so I am a librarian, and I also have two students in the district. So one thing that I'm really focusing on is long-term planning and long-term vision for our district. I think we have a really great district, and I think our greatest asset is our people, our teachers, our staff. As I've been following along with all of the building choices we have, that's the thing that I've been so impressed with the most, is that our teachers and our staff across the board, everyone says, I love my school, including myself. And I just wanted to be a part of the conversation since I've been following along for, well, at this point, 12 months now. But also, my husband is a teacher in the district and working with alternative education. Equity is a big issue in our household as far as we recognize that our jobs and our place in life offers us a lot of privilege, and I want to make sure that those choices are available to all students in our district, no matter their background. And the other thing that I'm just really excited about, that even though there's been such a negative narrative about school closures and budgets and talking about one school over another, I've really enjoyed how proud I am of the district and our opportunities and our programs and things I wouldn't have known unless I was paying attention. So I'm just really excited to really talk up our district more in a way that I wouldn't have been aware of before. I mean, if we had the answer as a district, we already would be on the path to where we were going, and everyone would know what that path is. I think that what this really comes down to is communication with the community. I think the district has done a really good job of trying to different ways to get the community involved, but it's hard because people don't always pay attention until sometimes it's too late. So how to do proactive things to talk with the community? Can we go to, I don't know, as board members, senior centers to talk to people about what things are important to you in the district and on a fixed income? If you are a family, what is important to you and what do you want, like visiting the schools, going to PTOs, or at least talking with PTOs, people who are already have a pulse on what's going on in the schools, and community members that have a vested interest in where we go with our district. So I think communication is something that we really need to do a better job of, and having that transparency of these are the numbers and these are the choices, and maybe offering a long-term vision that isn't this is what we're going to do because of our budget now, but if it maintains or stays this way, in 5 years you can expect that this is going to happen to these schools and this is going to happen to these schools, so that we can be an informed community who's vested in our population, right? Like, this is our future. Whether people stay here or not, we want to retain and draw people in, and I think having a better long-term strategic vision for that everyone is aware of would be a lot more helpful. We've already used so much time in what is a budgetary decision that's already going to fall on the backs of our teachers and staff regardless. A referendum means that there are going to have to be cuts because they have to find other levers to balance the budget. And also, we're asking more from our community to pay more for our education in a way that I just don't know. I don't know. I have been watching along for months and months. I don't even know what the right course of action is because I just don't have enough information as a voter, as a district member, as the spouse to a district employee, what's best for the district based on the information I've gotten from conflicting information from the FAC, from the board, and even from Dr. Engel and all of these things. There's just a lot of things at play that make it very difficult to support or be against it. I would like to know why we went from one plan of attack, let's call it that sounds very aggressive, but why we went from one plan of closing schools where at least people had time to try to make their decisions, and as family members, as community members, what the ramifications of that would be for them. Now we're going to a choice where we're switching it and saying, well, we're going to combine schools, which still means closing schools. And also, if you are following along, it means closing another school at least. My question is, what happens if the referendum doesn't pass? Does that mean, what is on the chopping block? I feel as though we do not have a full vision of if this, then that, whether you choose to support the referendum or not. And I think that would really benefit the district to give people that transparency. And that's the information I need, is if, then what? I mean, first and foremost, I want to say that I fully believe all the school board members that are currently on the board, thank you. They have done a really hard job, and I fully believe that all of them are wanting to do the best for our district. So it's keeping that in mind of why you first started, and hoping to keep a positive attitude in that. And also that hopefully people would know that what you see is what you get with me. If someone has a real criticism or something that I can do better, I can take that as feedback, and maybe that's something I can change. If it's something I can't change, I can't do it. So I think I just really hope that I would be able to maintain what I think I am, and having never been a really public person. I mean, I'm a data person, librarian here, love citing things, love making sure that the facts and information that I am getting is accurate. I think we need a little bit more transparency on the budget of the district. And I think it would be really great if we supported outside people looking into, hey, these are the finances of the district, this is what you need, what you don't. Are there people who are from other districts who have done this and are have been successful, either with a referendum, right, because we'd love that, but also just in streamlining a district that is facing financial difficulties. I mean, we shouldn't recreate the wheel if we don't have to. So I would really like to see a data-driven, which I do think the board is currently using, and to continue down that path of definitely going with the facts first, recognizing that not everyone can be happy with the results, because a school closure at any point is a terrible thing to consider. And there's real people behind the hard fact of a building closure. It's not just about the building, it's about the people. What I really would like the board to focus on, and I think they've tried to, is how do we support our families and staff through this transition, whatever that transition happens to be. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of concerned people, whether they be teachers and staff in the district, and trying to make decisions on their own employment and still being proud of the district. I would like us to hopefully make a clear path forward for voters and for families and teachers in the district, and then move on to hopefully something that is more about why we're proud of the district and getting that word out there, and why we would want people to be in our district, why we want to retain people, why teachers would want to teach in our district. I think we have some wonderful people, some wonderful programs, and it would be really nice if we got back to a narrative that wasn't pitting a school against a school and families against families and teachers against teachers. That is not what I want the La Crosse School District to be known for. Everyone wants the best for their district, but when emotions get involved, it's really hard to pull that back and try to be a little bit kinder, and I want to bring a little bit more kindness to the conversation if we could. I think people would want to vote with me, one, because they can hopefully align with what I hope my priorities are. I also think that people can trust that what they see is what they get, and I am going to be someone who is involved and follows up and that I really do care about the district from multiple facets. You know, my personal facet of, you know, supporting my husband, who's a district educator, supporting my children, but also being a taxpayer and caring about those issues as well. I think I have a somewhat unique position in that I cover a lot of bases of who's a stakeholder in these decisions. Actually, one thing, having attended many board meetings now, one thing that I've really enjoyed is how they spotlight or highlight a different program every board meeting. I've never known as much about our district than when I've been at or listened to those board meetings. And I think if we did more of that to the community, even the surrounding community, that would be great for the district, so that one, you know, the staff and teachers who are involved in those programs can get the proper appreciation and thanks for making our district better, but also so that people can know what's out there. Like, what are your choices? We say we're the district of choice, and I don't know that everyone has the time to figure out what those choices are, even though the district does a lot of emailing, a lot of letters. Some people just don't have the bandwidth in their lives to be able to take on that information. So are there easier, more digestible ways for people to get interested in our district? I mean, I've even thought to myself, I mean, how easy would it be to, you know, work with local media, whether it be a radio station or one board member takes one network or something to get out there and say, hey, have you heard about this program? And hopefully get it out there in multiple ways so that people can either see it in the email from the district or in the letter that comes home from the teachers or from the board members who are trying to promote our district for the great things that we do. I think I'm just really excited. I think I was really saddened to see that there are only 2 people on the ticket, and not to say anything about the 2 people on there. It's just there's 3 seats and only 2 people were stepping up, and so I'm really excited by all the people in the community who have felt invested and said, hey, maybe me. So I'm just really excited to see where the district goes, and I hope that it goes in a good direction.